What's good? It's DNF Daniel. I've been cubing for 2 years and I've accumulated a lot of cubes since then. So with the year ending and all, I thought it would be a great day today to showcase my entire cube collection plus my goals for 2021. So let's get started. Let's start with the basic 3x3s. Here is my first Rubik's Cube, the YJ Ling An. I bought this in the Philippines back in 2017, way before I knew speed cubing was a thing. This kinda sparked the entire journey itself, and this is one of the most prized cubes in my collection. Fast forward to 2018, when I bought my first Rubik's brand at Walmart. I knew cubing was a thing and began to practice regularly. Over time, I became able to solve this thing in under 10 seconds. That's crazy. When I began to average 30 seconds, I bought my first speed cube called the Scrabby Cube. No kidding, I bought it on Amazon, and I remember bringing it to school and being so overprotective. My first real speed cube started with the GAN 356 Air UM. This was supposed to be my main, but I got used to a different cube instead. And that would be this stickered Volk 3 Power M right here. I bought this in the UM on the same day, but I got so scared on ruining the UM that I would bring this to school and eventually get used to it and bring it to my first ever cubing competition. The stickerless Power M would be my speed cubing main for almost a year, but then I would switch to this, the stickerless version, which was a better fit for me at the time. In between those cubes, I got this YJ transparent Yulong, which looks really nice in my collection. The GAN 354M, which really isn't a bad backup main. The 4.74mm Volk 3, which I got at my first competition. A white Cubicle Labs GTS, which I bought on eBay. Really isn't a bad cube. A fun-looking YJ Pillow 3x3. And another Rubik's brand that may or may not have been out of the box at Walmart and may or may not have been paid for. For some cooler looking 3x3s, I have this neon Rubik's brand. The Rubik's Tactile Cube, which I highly recommend, and this limited edition Volk 3 Power M in China Red, with all these signatures on each side of the cube. Finally, we have this RS3M, which is completely insane out of the box, and this Volk Elite M, which is pretty much the cube I use most, even though both are pretty much my main. Before we move on, let's take a look at the lesser appreciated 3x3s. First, we have these two picture cubes, an Incredibles one and an Avengers one. I bought both of these at Party City. This keychain cube was won by my mom at a parents' event at a speed cubing competition. And this one was my mom's when she was way younger, back in the Philippines. I have a quick selection of 2x2s. My first ever one, a Cyclone Boys that I bought off of Amazon. The Cyclone Boys was fine until I had to change mains because of the racket. I have the Chi DS 2x2. Not one, but two Rubik's Ice Cubes bought from eBay. Interesting to have, but not really well known. And finally my main, the YJ MGC. I only have 3 4x4s, my first one ever being the Mini Cyclone Boys 57mm. My first ever competition ready 4x4, the Chi Mini Wuchui M. And my current main, the Moyu Aosu GTS2M. Really nice. I only have 2 5x5s, the first one being the Shengshao Gem 5x5, and my current main, the Volk 5M. My biggest N/N cube is my one and only 6x6, the Mystic YJ MGC. It really isn't bad, but one of the internals broke, and I really can't speed cube with this right now. Get ready for the side events. I only have 3 Pyraminxes, one of them being my first Pyraminx, the Moyu Pyraminx with ball bearings. It's discontinued. My first good Pyraminx, my X-Man Bell, which later got replaced by the Bell V2. Scube isn't important, so I'll go through that quickly. My first ever Scube, the Moyu Scube with ball bearings, also discontinued. And my current main, the X-Man Wingy Scube. Mega Minx isn't really all that great for me either, which is why I only have 2. This one is from Ryan as a Christmas gift, the YJ Yuhu V1, and my current main, the X-Men Galaxy V2 LM. Surprisingly, I have 5 Squans. My first square one, the Fangshin, is long gone, but I have 2 Yushin Little Magics. One is an RP custom and one is from AJ. Thanks to both of y'all. My first competition ready square one, the Cubicle Labs Volt V1. I have a Volt V2, but the plastic is kinda broken. So I got another one, which is my current main, with black top. Let's end off the WCA collection with my stack of clocks. I have my first ever Ling Out clock from back in 2018, which I broke a bunch of my PBs with. I have another Ling Owl, which I bought recently, but it still hasn't broken in yet, so I'm never gonna use this. I have two Shengshao clocks. I thought they were going to be pretty good, but turns out they weren't. But out of all those clocks, nothing beats the Qi Magnetic. I finished off the WCA events, so let's get unofficial. I have this 1x1 I bought from the Cubicle, a literal cuboid, a 1x2x3. I have this Rubik's Edge, basically a floppy cube. I have an interesting Qi 2x2x3, which is very good quality, and a 2x3x3. I have the Shengshao Kilominx, the Meffert's Mollicube, the only cube in my collection I do not know how to solve, the Rubik's Void Cube, a nice challenge, the Qi Dino Cube, easier than I expected, a Shengshao Mirror Blocks, the Moyu Ready Cube, do not even ask me what this is, and a nice Yushin Cat 2x2. Now for my top 5 favorite non-WCA puzzles. First, we have the Z 2x2 Time Wheel, a very nice challenge and a time waster. We have an extra large Gear Cube by Meffert's. Coming at number 3, my YJ Diamond 3x3, a very good symbol for my vlog channel, Silver Cubes. The YJ Yeet Ball, which is basically an Ivy Cube shape mod. And finally, my last cube of the collection, the Meffert's Gear Ball. I hope you enjoyed my collection, but before we end the video, I want to go over my goals for 2021. I'll check back next December to see how I did. I'm not going to expect much out of the bigger cubes, but for 6x6 I would love a sub 230 single, and maybe a sub 3 average of 5. As for 5x5, a sub 110 PB single would be nice, and maybe a sub 120 average of 5. On Megaminx, I just want to average sub 130 period. For 4x4, I would love a sub 39 average of 5, because I do have one surprisingly, and maybe a sub 35 PB single. My resolution for one-handed is pretty basic, just practice more. Maybe sub 20 average of 5, but other than that, I just want to practice more. While we're even on the topic of Scube, all I really want is a sub 1.99 PB single. I don't really care about average. Pyraminx on the other hand is kind of fun. I would love a sub 3.5 average of 5, and maybe a sub 1 single, maybe if I get lucky enough. For 2x2 in general, I just want to be faster, maybe average 2 by the time of next year. I've been practicing a lot of Square 1 recently, so basically I want to get faster by next year. Maybe sub 12, maybe a 10 average along the way and a sub 6 single, but who knows, I would just love to get faster, period. For clock, I would love to consistently average 6. I mean, even though I do sometimes, it's on the on and off side. Maybe a sub 5 average if I'm lucky enough, and maybe a sub 360 single. I basically just want to beat every PB I have now. And finally, 3x3. Probably my biggest resolution. I've been kind of averaging the same for the past year. Well, not really. I've been getting a lot of 8 averages lately, but that's besides the point. I want to be sub 10. I've been striving towards this goal for a bit now, but I think next year is the year I finally achieve this. And I would love a sub 6 single. I'm serious. If you know who I am, I've been struggling to get a sub 6 single my entire life, and I am still kind of mad about last time. I failed another 5 today, but I didn't really know it was gonna be a 5. I broke my PB single after a full year, but anyways, for 3x3, basically my only goal is to be sub 10 and get that sub 6 single. That just about wraps up my entire collection and goals video for 2021. I really hope you enjoyed. This isn't my last video because I have one more coming up, but you'll just have to wait for that. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. This is DNF Daniel, and I hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays.